I'm sorry to hear that. Do you have any children?
Well, yes, I have 5 children.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Arthur Jouquel, is that right?
That's right.
Now, where are you from, Art?
A little one-horse town down on the Ozarks named Steelville, Missouri, about 90 miles south of St. Louis.
Just one horse in this whole town?
The only one I remember.
Is that so? Where do you work, Art?
I'm afraid that's classified information.
You mean I have to look it up in the yellow pages? What do you mean it's classified?
Well, it means I can't tell about it in public.
Well, if you won't talk, you might as well close up shop now and go home, huh? Don't we have, do you have anything else we can discuss, like your in-laws?
Oh, we could talk about my hobbies, perhaps.
Okay, if you're sure the police won't close us up. What is your hobby? One-horse towns? Horses?
Huh? No, firing rockets.
What kind of a racket? Slot machine? Numbers? FHA?
No. Ours goes...
Is there any particular purpose behind this hobby? Are you,
Yes,
are you shooting for anything special?
Yes, we're experimenting at a test area out in the Mojave Desert, building these rockets to make meteorological investigations of the upper atmosphere.
Well, how high are you planning to reach? I mean, what are you at?
Well, eventually we're going to the moon.
Well, that's interesting. How high have you been so far?
About 7 miles.
You can get higher than that with one martini before Why do you want to go to the moon? Are you mad at your wife, or are you crazy about green cheese? You know, the moon is made of green cheese. A lot of people don't know that.
No, we want to find out what's on the other side. I have a reservation on
Well,
one of the
I
first
think
ones.
so, huh?
If my wife will let me.
I think it'd be very foolish not to have a reservation. Make it down there and then not be able to get on, you know.
I'm not worried about getting on. I'm just worried about getting back.
Oh, you plan on coming back again?
Huh? Oh, yes.
Well,
No,
it sounds like
no.
a very interesting hobby.
There's no air, no air, and no water there.
It's a nice trip. It's better than going to Europe or any place. In Europe, they have water and wine and food and everything. Here, it's real comfortable. No air and no water. I'd like to discuss this interesting subject at greater length, but fortunately, or unfortunately, it's time to play You Bet Your Life. Are you prepared for this? Fenneman, what are you doing here?
Well, I thought maybe you'd like to use my scoreboard.
I'm gonna show you. Have you a pencil?
Oh, does that go with it, too?
Well, might help. I'm going to show you how unnecessary, what an appendix you are on this show here, despite what Jack Benny said. Now then, let's see now. I'm going to be pretty busy. You select a dictionary quiz. Now, what do you want to start with? 10, 50, 60, 80, 100. You know the game. I don't have to explain it anymore.
Start with 70.
70, is that all right with you, Margarita? Yeah. What do you call the traditional flat cap with a tassel worn by graduates?
Mortarboard.
Mortarboard is right. Now you have $170.
Try for 80.
Okay, what does the word circumspect mean? Talk it over, now you're partners.
It means above suspicion.
You're flirting with it, but you're away. It means wary, cautious, prudent, watchful on every side. Well, you lost half your bankroll, which leaves you $85.
90.
Remember, they get tougher the bigger the money.
90.
90. What does the word mendacity mean? M-E-N-D-A-C-I-T-Y.
Beggar-like. Beggar-likeness.
No, I'm sorry. It means lying, untruths. Mendacious means... Well, you're not doing very well here. Now you have $42.50.
Yeah, that's 100.
100.
100. What does penultimate mean?
Means final. Definitely final.
No, I'm sorry. It means next to final. It means next to the last. Ultimate is final. Penultimate is next to final. Well, that reduces you to $21.25. Well, we're going to give you one question so we can bring your winnings up to $25. We can't let you leave with this little. What is the capital of the United States?
Washington, D.C.
Thanks and good luck with it. Mrs. Liza Alexander and George Guralnik. Mrs. Alexander, I'll start with you. Do you mind if I call you Eliza?
Oh, I'd love it. Everybody calls me Liza. Why don't you just call me Liza?
Well, I sure will.
Child.
Now, where you from, Liza? Maine or Vermont?
Well, I grew up on a cotton plantation near Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Is that so? Is that near Boll Weevil? Well, tell us about life on the old plantation, Liza. What was it like down there in
Well,
the
the
levee?
plantation life then was so wonderful. They've cut it all up into tobacco farms now. But we had a fish pond and had our own governess and carriage horses and buggy horses and saddle horses, everything that made children happy.
What do you mean, buggy horses? Were they crazy?
My father had a little buggy, and the horse
did,
was
huh?
never hitched to anything.
My father had a little buggy, too. My father was a little buggy. Well, you certainly are a genuine Southern belle, Liza. I thought you all were gone with the wind, huh? Let's see, who are you again? I assume you must be here for a reason,
Mr.
huh?
George Guralnik.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. George Guralnik.
You looking for Mr. George Guralnik?
No, I'm George Guralnik.
You're George Guralnik? Where were you born, George?
Well, I really don't know, Groucho.
You're not sure where you were
No.
born? Well, what happened at your birth, George, aside from you getting born?
Well, I came to this country in 23 with the people I knew as my mother and father.
Hey, wait a minute. You said people, that's the secret word, so you win $50, and you win $50.
Thank you.
Now tell us this again.
Well, I came to this country with some people I knew as
Who came from to this country?
me and some people I knew as my mother and father. According to my people I knew as my father and mother, I was born in Harbin, Manchuria.
Where?
In Harbin, Manchuria.
Harbin, Manchuria.
Yeah, my name should be Guralnik. And a woman claimed 4 years ago I was born in Harbin, in the Kank, Siberia. And I really don't know who I am now.
Where? Does anybody out front know who he is? This is pretty serious. Are you doing anything about this?
Well, I'm writing a
thing?
book called Who Am I?
Well, how can you write a book when you don't even know who the author is?
No, because this woman named Gertson said that I was her son. And now, according...
Ladies, tune in again tomorrow for another thrilling chapter of Gertson's Other Guralnik. Well, you're certainly throwing me, George. Now, let's see how a man from Manchuria and a Southern belle work together as a team.
In the race for the $1,500, the first couple won $21.25, and the secret word is people.
You're going to play You Bet Your Life. Do you both know how to play the game?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I never miss listening.
Well, remember, you're partners now, and we only want one answer. This is Mr. Fenneman. Now, they selected geography. Is that right?
Right.
Yes.
Remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is, and one answer between you. Now, what are you going to start with?
$70. $70.
$70. The island of Luzon is a part of what country?
Philippines.
That is right, the Philippines.
You now have $170.
$80. On what well-known river is the city of Budapest located?
Go ahead.
Budapest.
Yankee. What is it? You go ahead,
I
Alan.
think it's the Seines.
No, the Seine is in
Yanks?
France. No, this is the Danube.
Oh, boy.
Well, you lost
The
half
Blue
your...
Danube, which is the dirty brown, actually.
You lost half your $170. You now have $85.
All right, now, what are you going to try?
Go ahead.
How much?
90.
All right. In what Italian city will you find the famous Bridge of Sighs? Now, one
Venice.
answer. You
I
agree with
agree.
this?
I'm sorry.
Venice is right.
Right.
You now have $175.
You're climbing like Mount Vesuvius. That's probably the worst simile I've ever made.
Okay.
All right,
The
then.
$100 one.
You have $175, and you're going for 100. The Clyde River is the principal river of what country? The Clyde River. C-L-Y-D-E. R-I-V-E-R.
You. Go ahead. I know it, but No.
Well, you lost half your $175. You wind up with $87.50.
And the secret word? Didn't they win the secret?
Yeah, I guess they did. I wasn't here.
Well, I'm very happy. Welcome. Well, oh, you haven't said anything yet.
I was going to tell you, Groucho, we invited some girl softball players to the program tonight.
Oh, really?
And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mrs. Bertha Reagan. Her partner is one of the, I guess you could say, the best-known figure in the world of sports, Mr.
You can
Henry.
say that?
I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Mr. Henry Red Sanders. Come on out and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, welcome. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Red Sanders. Well, glad to shake hands with you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Sanders.
Groucho.
Mr. Sanders happens to be one of the best jockeys in the country. I'm only kidding, Red. I know you're one of the country's greatest football players, coaches, and since you've been out here, the University of Southern California has been a different team. Isn't that right, Red?
Everything right except where I coach. I'm at UCLA.
I was aware of that. That's why I said USC has been a different team since you've been out here. I'll get back to you in a moment, Red. I want to find out a few things about this young lady over here. No coaching from the sidelines, please. Let's talk about your ball playing. Are you on a professional team, Bertha?
No, I'm on an amateur team.
Or you're a Simon Pure. You know what a Simon Pure is, don't you? Huh? That's
Well,
an amateur that gets paid.
no, I'm
Nothing
not.
personal, Miss Red. Now.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's talk about your ball playing, Bertha. Are you on a professional team?
No, I'm on an amateur team, the Orange Lionettes from Orange, California, and we belong to the Amateur Softball Association.
Oh, I wish you belonged to me instead. Huh? Is your team any good, Bertha? And if you're in last place, you don't have to answer that, you know.
No, I think we're the best. We were 3 times world champions and 2 times runners-up.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Don't tell me you beat Cleveland, too. Huh? What position do you play, Bertha?
I play pitcher.
You play pitcher?
That's right.
Are you any good? What's your record, Bertha?
I have the world's record for 106 no-hitters and 11 perfect games and 143 scoreless innings.
Bertha, with a record like that, Philadelphia's crazy if they don't sign you up the first thing in the morning. When you're out there playing softball, what kind of outfits do you put on? Anything like the men?
We wear shorts and warm-up pants.
I beg your pardon?
Warm-up pants.
I had my pants warmed up when I was a kid. I swiped something out of a cookie jar. As I recall, it was money. So what is your best pitch? I mean, when you're playing baseball, you throw a spitter or a knuckler or what?
I throw a rise ball.
A rise ball. What is that?
That's a ball that just before it gets to the plate, it hops. It has a little hop, so when you swing at it, you know, the bat's in one place and the ball's in the other.
That's a good joke on the batter, isn't it, huh? Do you find this interesting, Mr. Sanders?
I'm with it.
Why don't you and I go out and case this team someday, should we?
I can go for tomorrow.
No, I mean... I thought we'd go tonight, huh? Now, Red, you don't mind if I call you Red, huh?
No, sir.
No. You don't care what I call you, huh?
Well, I've been called a lot of things since I've been coaching.
Well, I'm not going to call you any of those things. Not here, anyway. Huh? Well, what makes a good coach, Red, huh?
I think I can answer that emphatically. Players. Good players. More the better.
Well, if I'm going to make a colorful character out of you, you've got to give me better answers than that, Red. At this rate, Warner Brothers will never make the story of your life. That'll be a severe blow to Pat O'Brien. Well, how do you get good players? Is that part of your job, Red?
I wish our supporters would find out.
Well, how do you get them, Red?
Well, From high schools and prep schools.
You hang around the high school?
No, sir. In this conference, it's wicked to be caught around a high school. You can't be seen on a high school campus talking to boys. It's against the rules.
Well, I wasn't talking about boys. Well, I understand every coach has a different system. What is yours, Red? Do you pace up and down with your trench coat open or buttoned?
No, I'm not a nervous type. I just kind of take it sitting down.
You're the laconic type, you mean? You get pretty nervous the night before a game, Red?
I really don't. I don't know that it helps, but I sleep the night before every game. I've been able to sleep the night after the game. Have been accused of being asleep during the game.
Well, which are you now, awake or asleep?
I don't know, stay about the same during the season, kind of numb.
You don't get ulcers or anything, huh? Well, Coach Sanders, it's been nice talking to you. You're a real nice guy, and a very modest one, too.
Thank you.
And you're a credit to Southern California. I mean, UCLA. And now let's play You Bet Your Life. And remember, we start you off with $100. If you miss a question, you lose half of your bankroll. Are you ready?
In the race for the $1,500, the second couple is leading with $87.50.
You selected music, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what are you going to start with? 10, 40, 50,
Did you
80?
select music?
I guess so.
They get tougher.
40? That's okay.
How much?
She's 40?
40.
All right.
B. Lilly and Gertrude Lawrence starred in Charlotte's Revue in 1924. This song was one of the great hits. What does it play, Meekin? Mr. Meekin.
Limehouse Blues.
Limehouse Blues is right.
We now have $140.
Now, Mr. Sanders, I know you believe in team play, so for the next 3 questions, I suggest that you discuss this with your partner.
Don't like to break any rules.
Okay. Never broke a rule, Red?
I didn't say that. I said I didn't like to.
What are you going for?
What's
60, 80, 90, 20, 10?
80? Okay.
The little ones are easy. Oscar Hammerstein and Jerome Kine wrote this song in 1932. You identify it. Play it, Jack.
Every little breeze.
No. I told every little star.
You lost half your bankroll. You now have $70.
Okay, now don't get discouraged. You're still on the 10-yard line here.
We're not going to punt on third down then, are we? Let's go.
Okay, what are you going to put? 50, 20, 10, easy, hard?
50? We just have to get that, isn't it?
50.
Is that all right?
Harry Tobias and Jules Lemaire wrote one of the best-known popular songs of the last 25 years. The orchestra will play it. You identify it. Play it, Jack. Talk it over.
Rio Rita. Rio Rita?
No. Sweet and lovely.
You lost half your $70. You now have $35.
That's 75.
Well, you're back on the 40-yard line, Red.
We got
It's your last
35
chance to be
left.
the other couple. Now, come on now.
Want to go all the way? Go all the way.
$100 one, huh? Vernon Duke and E.Y. Harburg wrote this song in 32. You tell me the name of it. Music, maestro. Take a guess.
Sure is pretty, but I don't know it.
Red, I wish I could help you. It's April in Paris.
And you wind up with $17.50.
Well, we can't let you leave here with $17.50. We're going to give you one question to bring it up to 25. What animal eats ants?
Anteater.
An anteater, by God. Why did you think
Right in here.
Here it is. The daughter of the Grand Vizier, I guess, of the Indies, supposedly related the stories of the Arabian Nights. For $1,500, what was her name? Talk it over.
No. Madam somebody that was over here. I don't know.
Oh, I never heard of it.
I don't know.
Well, if you don't know, take a guess.
Adam Abdullah?
No. It's Scheherazade. Well, that means the
That's
big
a
question next
shame.
week will be worth $2,000. Well, they lost the big money, but how much they win the quiz, George?
$87.50.
And the secret word?
I believe you said people, didn't you?
Yes. That gives them a total of how much, George?
$187.50.
Well, congratulations and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.